Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians. Got to give all praises to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi. Yahawah is the name of the Heavenly Father, who everyone else ignorantly calls God, and Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel, the only begotten Son of Yahawah, who everyone ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who was slain at the foundations of the earth to redeem Israel from these evil times. Shalom. So, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who led me to this truth, who have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are a part of the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So I did a video before I went to camp yesterday with the elder, and I was going to make a part 2 to it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple other articles that I got. The Lord put the spirit on me to deal with, and finish off that last lesson. There's only a couple more articles that I have about it, some more precepts, and then we're going to get into the topic, which is the fall of the U.S. dollar is happening daily. It is inevitable, oil cuts, and some other various end time topics. The Lord put the spirit on me to come across, so Lord willing, this be edifying to the flock. Also, shalom to the men, women, and children of the elect that are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day, to exalt the name of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. So we're gonna get into this. I left off right here talking about America's shameful obsession with guns, and we all know this has been a place that's, they're always high. Think they're high and mighty because they got all these weapons. Well, we know that in the end, if you live by the sword, you must perish by the sword. And it's in Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. I believe I put it in the last lesson, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. This was talking about grievous deaths, which is Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. And it's talking about these people tried to enter into the U.S. from Canada, and they found them dead in the river, And, obviously none of these people were in the truth and died without knowledge, because anybody in their right mind, would know to stay in that captivity and wait on Yahawashi and Yahawashi. That's what we're supposed to do. It doesn't mean that you can't, go across the other place of the U.S., of course, but, we're to remain wherever the Lord has put us, and have faith that he will come get us, because he will come get us, Lord willing. So let me type in this. Well, I want to do this one article first, and then I'm going to type in the precept. It talks about right here. It says Trump will not appear in court in handcuffs. So they all talk about all this stuff about how they're going to arrest him and all these things and how he a criminal, right? Well, why ain't he handcuffed? Well, as the scriptures say, It's just something that kind of caught my attention to go ahead and bring it across. It says in Psalms 73, verse 5, it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. See, they don't have the problems as Jake does. You know, we got to go through way more cruelty in the court system than them. You know, he can give somebody a porn star $125,000 and he don't even got to appear to court with no handcuffs, like he just, you know, gets some special privilege, and they do because they're Edomites. You know, but that privilege is about to be cut off. You know, so I just wanted to come bring that across. You know, because that's something that's a big topic that we should keep up with because it's going to cause race riots depending on what happens in that situation. You know, Lord willing. You know, we want to see this place come to the ground, and the more they come at Trump, the more this place is going to be divided. This talks about North Korea accusing Kyiv of having nuclear ambitions. So this is also adding on to, you know, the higher tensions growing leading up to World War III. So let's watch a little bit of this.
North Korea, a heavily sanctioned nation that has repeatedly shocked and challenged the world order, has accused Ukraine of harboring nuclear ambitions. Kim Jong-un's powerful sister Kim Yo-jong has called out Kyiv's nuclear intentions, basing her assertions on an online petition which was filed in Ukraine calling for its nuclear empowerment. After Putin announced his plans of deploying nukes in Belarus, Kim Yo-jong said the petition could be a political plot by Ukrainian President Zelensky. However, Kim Jong-un did not provide any evidence to support her claims. The petition, too, fell short, as it could garner only 611 signatures, but it needed 25,000 signatures. On the other hand, Pyongyang has been organizing ballistic missile launches on a regular basis, making countries like South Korea, Japan, and United States insecure and pushing them into carrying out combined military drills in the region. Amid shared isolation by the West, North Korea is forging closer ties with Kremlin. In the past, it has supported Moscow's position on Ukraine war. Pyongyang, however, has denied providing arms to Moscow.
I don't know why I wasn't playing it, but, you know, that's what he was talking about. You know, it's just Jake talking about it on the news. That guy probably not Jake. He's definitely probably a tear. Jake ain't gonna be on no damn newscast talking about the news. He gonna be over here talking about it on YouTube. So I'm gonna go with Matthew 24:6. Let me put that King James. And it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And this is just, you know, them still talking about, you know, they say they don't have no claims that it's going to happen, but the scriptures do. You know, we know that they're preparing for World War III. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because other things have to happen first. You know, a whole lot of other stuff's got to happen first. You know, we're watching. We're going to keep watching. So that's just something going on with that. Now, before I get into these scriptures, into these articles that I've seen that are pretty heavy topics about the money situation, I want to put in some precepts, you know, that I wanted to tie into the last lesson. So, second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And he's been visiting it by crashing the economy, all the hail and tornadoes, and it's been a lot of major tornadoes. We got over here in Oklahoma, it's in the next 4 days. It's like It said tomorrow is supposed to be a high warning. The next day, a high warning. Wednesday, it said very high. I think it was Thursday, it said very high. And then Friday is supposed to be high. So it's just going to be like 4 days of a chance that something going to get fucked up in here. You know, Lord willing, I ain't got to deal with another one. Okay. But if I do, I know Yahawashi is going to be with me. And Lord willing, he's with the rest of the elect, or the hopeful elect and the elect, whomever they are, the elect, whomever they are across the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, we part of that number. So second Esdras. Second Esdras, chapter 4, verse 37. And it reads, by measure he hath measured the times, and by numbered he hath numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them, until the said measure be fulfilled. So there's going to be only a certain amount of days that this kingdom is going to be in rulership, and that measurement is almost up. Lord willing to happen this year. The way it's looking, it could be pretty close. And if not this year, we're going to say Lord willing next year. You know, we're going to wait on the Lord. And that's just period. You know, and in the meantime, we're going to keep letting the flock know to stay diligent and keep up with these times, because you never know, he could pull up at any moment. So Matthew chapter 7 verse 2 reads, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with that measure ye met, it shall be measured unto you again. So this is why you know you can trust in Great Millstone, because they know whatever they're measuring and dishing out is going to come back to them. And you know, these other places, these other camps, they don't care about that. They just want to get money. You know, and that's why whenever we do something, you know, we pray to Bahasham Yahawashi is righteous and it glorifies his name, you know, because we don't want to be held accountable and be measured with violence and vengeance, you know. We want to be measured with grace and mercy, you know, and of course some of us are going to get put to death for this truth, but that's how important it is. The Lord said those men are precious. So, you know, we're willing to go through that if the Lord tells us that we must go through that, you know. You know, we ultimately want to be a protection to the flock. You know, if they make it out, that's what we're doing this for. We want the flock to make it out. Lord willing, we make it out, but we're here putting our lives on the line. We know we can lose our lives for this. So Barak chapter 4 verse 28 says, for as it was your mind to go astray from Yahawah, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. This is what's wrong with a lot of Jake. They don't want to seek the Lord more than anything else they do. You know, this is the main goal. You know, this is our first love. And once you start paying attention to your first love, then the Lord's going to give you everything else. Everything else is going to revolve around it, just like you revolving around it too. You know, and you know, that's something that, you know, I've been thinking Bahasham Yahawashi every day for. You know, he's been increasing me in ways that I couldn't believe, you know, in ways that, you know, I still don't even all the way fully understand, you know, because I'm learning every day. But I know that, you know, what I do know, I'm going to apply that to my life to the best of my abilities, carry out the will of Yahawashi Yahawashi. So Isaiah chapter 55 verse 6 says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. It says, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return unto the Lord Yahawashi Yahawashi. He will have mercy upon him, and to our God, which is Yahawah, where he will abundantly pardon. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a pardon for our sins by keeping the flock steady in prophecy, you know. And now we're focusing on the world. And like yesterday, I was on my little transportation back on the way back. You know, I got a bike or whatever. I was on the way back, and I'll ride through campus because it's quicker to get through that way. And people just out there partying like ain't nothing going on. Like it's not like nothing going on, and the dollar is literally about to crash, like soon, like real soon, and everybody's warning, everybody's talking about it. You know, all the rich is. So Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 11, we're gonna get into it in just a second. I got a couple more scriptures. So Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 11 says, "And they that have loathed my law, while they yet had liberty," 2/3 of our people, you know, they're you know, destined to do it. And you even got some people now that kind of got that Lot spirit, and they tarrying, and they not really putting this all into their all. You know, you got some people that's in the truth, and they still kind of like, yeah, you know, I should be studying. Like, nah, that should not be the no. You're supposed to be studying this times 10. That's what the scripture said. If you love the Lord, you keep his commandments. You know, and that's what we can't stress enough. You know, but it said while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood it not and despised it. And you know, you don't have to necessarily well, let me finish reading it. Second Esdras 9, verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain. And what I was really trying to say was, you don't have to necessarily say that you don't like it. Like if you don't follow it and you're not doing it, then that's another way of despising it, you know, by just being like shrugging it off and being like, whatever, and not saying that, you know, the people that are sincere, if you know there's something that you're working on and it's hard to follow. Like, you know, one thing for me, like, I want to fast a lot more. You know, I fast, but you know, I really want to fast a lot more. It doesn't mean I don't love the Lord, but it's just that's something that I'm battling. You know, we all have our specific battles. You know, everybody does. So that's what is the most important is if you're battling. That's what the Lord wants. That's a balance. If you're not battling nothing, then you're not training for Jacob's trouble. We're supposed to be training. And in training, you got to go through, you know, situations to be able to handle those situations when they come. You know, and that's just as little as just studying and staying diligent, you know. You know, the Lord made it real easy for us, you know, especially, you know, everybody new coming into the truth, whoever come across my page, you know, who's new, you know, we got it easy, man. The elders and apostles had to do so much stuff for us to be able to get to this point and be able to dish this out in the way we do it, you know. You know, we're entered into other men's labors. So 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7. Do ye look on the things after the outward appearance? And that's what a lot of people do. They look out here and they look at something and be like, oh, well, you know, that looks like this or this looks like that, you know, and they judge it off that. You never know, like literally the Lord could have the person that you're going to spend eternity with on the planet with you right now, you know, and you just going to overlook them all because of some outward appearance. You're going to overlook everything that they could be for you. You know what I mean? And that's on both sides, like brotherhood side and, you know, towards women, you know. You don't want to just dismiss, you know, a woman trying to repent and come back to the Lord, you know, regardless of what their situation is. You know, you want to also have discernment, of course, but you know, this is the way we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be spiritual. We're not supposed to think about this place. We're putting our place. We're putting our thoughts in heaven. You know, we're putting all of our treasures in heaven, which is this truth. So it also says, if any man trust in himself that he is a Mashiach, which is Christ in Paleo Hebrew, let him of himself think this again, that as he is a Mashiach, even so we are Mashiachs. You know, and that's talking about the body as a whole, you know, all of Israel, you know, the 33% that's gonna make it off this rock, you know. You gotta think of people that like that's the Lord's people, man. We can't just be treating them like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, rebuke, you know, it seems like rebuke is a way of treating somebody harshly, but that's not treating somebody harshly. That's part of That's part of the scriptures. That's chastisement. That's love, you know. And a lot of Israelites fall out of the truth because they don't understand that you know that matter. You know, so this is verse 8, and it says, "For though I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord have given us for our edification, and not for your destruction, I should not be ashamed." And we're not ashamed, you know. We know all the scriptures, you know, some get ashamed where they be like, you know, well, Jacob really, you know, took his cousin in as a wife. Yeah, he took his cousin in as a wife. That's how it was. And that's how it's gonna be next time. And if you got a problem with it, then you know, you got a problem with the Lord. Like none of his ways are not like unrighteous. Everything he does is righteous. You know, he has it set up like that for a specific reason. And since those laws are not in the land, now you know we're fucked out here. So this is verse 9, says that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters, you know, but you know, we know that by you know the through the terror of the Lord is how we persuade men. So, you know, it might not seem like, you know, it may not seem like that, but let's just keep reading for a second. For his letters, they say, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech contemptible. Let such a one think this, that such as we are in word by letters, when we are absent, such will we be also indeed when we are present. So we're supposed to live by these words, you know. And a lot of Jake, they don't want to. They want to, you know, they read stuff and some of them in the truth, like, yeah, that makes sense. And I know some Jakes that's been in the truth for a minute, way longer than me, you know, and they're not taking it serious, you know. And I want to, Lord willing, you know, uh, I can be encouraging to some of the new brothers, especially some of the new brothers and some of the brothers that's been out here longer than me, who came across my page and subscribed to me. They're not doing videos no more. They're not going out to the highways and byways no more. They got to get out there, man. You got to get out there. Like, you got to stop playing with the Lord, because he's not playing, man. He'll put you to death if you're out here saying that you love him, and then you don't want to pull in, you don't want to finish your oath, man. It's an oath. Once you take your hand on this plow, you out here doing this. Like, this is not no game, man. You put your hands down on this plow, it's over with, man. Lord's going, and your judgment's gonna be worse than a lot of people, you know, because we're making an oath to the Lord. There's nothing to play around with. But it says, this 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. And that's the problem with Jake, man. Jake always trying to look at stuff and be like, you know, look at it on the outward appearance. We're not supposed to be men like that. We're supposed to be able to see stuff by how the Lord would look at it. You know, and anybody basically in this truth, the Lord finds as someone, you know, valuable to him, because he said that the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, we're the Lord's treasure, you know, in all reality, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know, they want to look at the chastisement and everything else and be like, oh, well, you know, they just some regular people. No, the Lord said that we're above all the nations of the earth, you know, but we're still in our captivity, of course. But that's tough love. He's showing us that he loves us. So this is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahawah, that he may exalt you in due time. See, people don't want to be patient. You know what it says? It says, woe unto those who lose their patience. And it says, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. And Jake still want to care about the dollar. He still want to get his bread. He still want to, that's all he want to think about, man. You know, I can't, you know, in some senses, I'll be like, I can't wait till Jacob's trouble. Like, it's scary a little bit in my mind, but, you know, at the same time, I got faith that the Lord's going to deliver us out of it. But I know we're going to go through a lot, but it's like, man, I'm tired of going to the damn plantation. I'm ready, you know, but at the same time, the reason why it hasn't happened, because we really not ready as a whole. That's why the Lord hasn't made it happen yet. He's going to make sure everybody's ready, you know, and that's what Elder Yuan was talking about, you got to be selfless in this thing. You got to make sure everybody's ready. It's not just about you being ready. It's about make sure the whole body ready. And the foreigners, we want to make sure they're ready too. So, we can't really make nobody make sure they're ready. But what we mean is like, keep working. And the Lord's gonna make them sure they're ready. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4. Who will have all men? Oh wait, let me go back one verse. It says, "For this is good and acceptable in the sight of our Savior." Matter of fact, I want to read, so I have to make sure. Let's read that one. So it says, "I exhort." And when you look up the word exhort, it means like warning. As a matter of fact, because GMS, they always talk about we got to look up words. I want to go ahead and pull up that word, for anybody that new comes across. So 1 Timothy 2, verse 4. I got a couple more precepts, 2 more precepts after this, then we're gonna go into the lesson. I wanted to get this stuff across. So like it said, where we in 1. Yeah, I exhort, therefore. Look up that word exhort.
Strong's G 3870. Parakaleo.
Parakaleo. And it says to call one side, to call for a summon, to address, speak to, call upon, which may be done in the way of exhortation. Like it's a warning. We trying to warn Jake, you finna get blown the fuck up if you keep playing with the Lord. And you might even die before you get blown the fuck up. Or you might die and he come up there and say you was really on some bull biggity, on some bullshit, and send you back down here and get blown up again. Get your ass blown up, the second time or the first time. The first time you could have died in any kind of way and been like, you was really on some bullshit. I'm gonna send you back down there, and now you're gonna get blown up. And what's gonna be even scary is you're gonna send your ass back down here. You're not gonna even remember that your ass died. You're gonna die again. Like that's how much the Lord ain't playing, And they got one of the Akim, he did a video on it. They got these cloning baby labs, and they cloning like 30,000 babies a year or whatever, and they got 75,000 of them motherfuckers on the planet right now. Lord could just put your spirit back in one of them bitches and blow your ass up. Ain't nothing to play with. A lot of these wicked ass people like the Queen and shit, they think they gonna escape that shit. Nah, they gonna be in one of them damn bodies, man. They're gonna face that fire. So it says to address, speak to call upon, which may be done in the way of exhortation, entreaty, comfort. This is going to be a comfort to the elect. Why? Because we know that he chastises the one he loves. Instruction, to strive to appease by entreaty, to counsel, to receive consolation. Consolation is consolation of basically, consolation of the stars. We're basically the universe walking on the ground, and everybody thinks we're just people, That's why we're supposed to carry ourselves a certain way. And sometimes, we seem like, we're angry on the highways and byways, and, we yelling sometimes, but that's, we got strong zeal for the Lord. We care about the Lord, man. And it angers us to see that, even though it's being taught, there's motherfuckers out there trying to hand out ice cream cones and shit. Like somebody tried to hand me an ice cream cone the other day. Well, I'm sitting out here like in the middle, 2 o'clock in the morning. Man, where I live is bugged-out.com. Anyways, exhorting and comforting and encouraging to instruct and teach, And it said that the wise will not be confounded. They won't be angry about it. They'll be either sorrowful, or if it's just a light exhortation, they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. Let me fix that. So it says, I exhort, therefore, that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, giving thanks be made for all men. And that's all men of the elect, of course, because everybody else he's blinding them. For kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead in a quiet and peaceable life and godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of Yahawah our Savior, who will have all men to be saved and come unto the knowledge of the truth. For there is one God, which is Yahawah, and one mediator between Yahawah and man, the man, Amashiach Yahawashi. And that's a lot of problem with Eve, because Eve doesn't want to be in order like that. But you got some women out there, they do want to be in order, and they have been and they will be, and those are the ones that you want to hold on to. That's the ones that the Lord sent. You don't want to play around with them. You don't want to play around with them other women either. But what I mean by play around with them is take them seriously. The Lord gives you specific commandments how to treat everybody in the flock, to the best of your abilities. So Acts chapter 4, verse 12, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. And they be calling on Jesus Christoph, which is Jesus Christ, or his real name is Caesar Borgia, and is a sixth Pope of Rome's son. And Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo had a contest to see who could paint the picture of the so-called white man Jesus Christ. Okay, and it was Michelangelo who won. That's why he was a lot more. No, actually, no, it was Leonardo da Vinci who won. I think. I don't know. One of them damn crackers won, but that's why they were famous. Because they were at that time they were deceiving the world. All they bullshit. So Matthew chapter 10 verse 6. Okay. And it reads, says, read up 1 to 5. It says, these 12 Yahawashi sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and to any of the Samaritans enter ye not. And another thing I learned also, that the 12 disciples had disciples under them that were teaching too, but those were the main ones. But they had students and stuff that went out and taught the truth too, just like now. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, as ye go preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's what's going on right now, where the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and motherfuckers out here handing out ice cream cones. Okay, America Babylon Great needs to be fucking destroyed. Okay, this place is wicked. People think shit's a game. Everybody wants to play around. So we're praying for the downfall of this kingdom. We're praying every night. Lord, blow this shit up.com. That's what we're doing every day. That's what we like doing. So we're going to get over here finally and come to the money system stuff. And they're literally telling you they're going to crash it. They used to just be like, oh, yeah, everything's going to be safe. The dollars is good. Well, that was a week ago. Now they're saying new global currency designed to ditch US dollar, coming from BRICS nations, which is Brazil, Russia, and this can either be Iran. The I can be Iran, or it can be India. And then you got China, and the S can be Saudi Arabia or South America, or South Africa, because all of these people are going to team up, and they're going to fuck America Babylon the Great up. But first, they got to take the dollar. They got to get rid of this first, and that's why they're starting a new global currency, which they're going to, make mandatory with the CHIP, and then they're going to eventually rule using US dollars is going to be illegal. Then what you going to do? What Jake going to do then when he over there talking about, get the bread? You're going to have to take that CHIP, because he's not going to have any covering of Bahasham Yahawashi. So let's just read a little bit of it. But it says a group of economically aligned nations plan to create a new currency that will reduce the world's dependence on the US dollar and the euro, according to a new report. A group of emerging economies known collectively as the BRICS, which I was saying earlier, are exploring how much a currency will be structured, reports the Russian state-owned agency Sputnik. The new dollar alternative could be backed by gold, additional wear with metals, or something else entirely, says State Duma Deputy Chairman Alexander Babakov. But like basically, we know that the other scriptures was talking about they'll cast a silver and gold into the streets. Okay, so gold's not going to work. That's why they said something else entirely, which is what? Digital. Okay, and what's going to be at entirely? I don't know. Humans. They're going to start chipping people like cattle. They already got people chipped like cattle. You know, it's going to be straight slavery. Okay. And right now, I got an article that I'm gonna pull up in a second. That's talking about how they're cutting down the use of oil. They're not letting them use as much oil every day. So I'm gonna read a little bit more. The news comes days after China executed the first liquefied natural gas trade using the yuan instead of the dollar. See, they're not using this shit no more. See how they said, see, it says the BRICS stands for the countries of Brazil, Russia, India, or Iran, China, and South Africa or Saudi Arabia, because they're all getting together. See, number of additional nations, including Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Iran, Indonesia, Turkey, and Egypt, have reportedly expressed interest in joining the alliance. Everybody's saying, fuck America, BabylonTheGreat.com. Let's get these motherfuckers out of here. And it also says in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 12, that America, Babylon the Great's mother shall be confounded, which is Great Britain. When you look at 1702, you know, Great Britain was what helped establish this place after they took over the Native Americans, you know, which is basically the tribes of Benjamin. You know, they took over the the Native Americans, you know, so-called Native Americans, you know, which is actually Israel. It's us. But said it'll be sore confounded and will lay her desolate. They're gonna all fuck this place up. So now we're gonna go over and read this. We're gonna put in some precepts after we look at a few articles concerning the money. So right here it says Elon Musk sounds the alarm about the US dollar. The billionaire global CEO worries about the loss of greenbacks and fluids, which attributes Biden's administration's foreign policy. And we know his weenie ass, he already running. He talking about he gonna move his whole company over to Mexico. He's already leaving. Okay. And there was another article that was talking about he was grieving for America. They know this place is not going to last. They know it's going down. You know, and you got a lot of people who are, you know, still being scoffing, still acting like they don't know what's going on, you know, just still thinking carnal, you know, just not even thinking spiritually at all, like have no discernment of what's happening, just straight oblivious, just like y'all ready to go out to the beach or something, like that's how they thinking. Okay, it's about to be straight hell. Okay, because they don't understand we're walking in hell right now. But you know, that's just a little bit of that. I don't like talking about his ass too much. We know he just says shit. So right here, it says economic experts issue dire warning on serious threat faced by U.S. dollar, and then they said it's inevitable. Okay, it predicts the global war. You know, they predicting whatever, but let's just see. Let's see what this Edomite got to say.
If you are type 2 and take metformin, well, check your feet and legs for these two things.
Lock you.
Well, since World War II, the U.S. dollar has been the world's strongest currency, with central banks using it in over 60% of foreign exchange reserves. It has been the dominant source of world trade. Transactions are made in the U.S. dollar. And as I mentioned, it's been the safe haven for most countries across the world to park their money in dollars. But in 2014, in response to the Russian invasion of Crimea, China and Russia began the process of de-dollarizing their particular business dealings. China wants to become the world's largest reserve currency. Now, it's notable that over the last 2 decades, the United States dollar has lost 12 percentage points of market share. We went from 71% down to 59%. Now, the Chinese yuan hasn't yet replaced the US dollar, but it's begun to register. About 3% of reserve portfolios are currently sitting in the Chinese yuan. So could the US dollar soon lose its power, and how would that impact the US on the world stage? Let's ask Breitbart economics and finance editor John Carney.
And you got to remember, there's an article that I did about a week or two ago, about a month ago, I think maybe, and China was buying all the farmland up. So this is the way they're attacking this place. Not let alone that, you got America, Babylon the Great, derailing trains every week, like every damn week they derailing another train. Like, they derailing more trains than DJ Khaled dropping mixtapes now. That motherfucker used to drop mixtapes every damn week. Now they got trains dropping like mixtapes in this motherfucker. It's like they don't care no more. They're just crashing them everywhere. You know, I got an article on that too that I'm about to pull up.
John, great to have you this morning. First of all, do you see this as a serious threat? Do you think we could look at a future where the United States dollar is not the world's reserve currency?
I do. Not only a serious threat, I think it is inevitable. We went through 3 stages, as you said, after World War II. The U.S. was the biggest economy in the world. In the 1970s, global banking became basically dollar-centric. With the fall of the Soviet Union, the entire world, more or less, came under the domination of the U.S. dollar. That is now drifting away. The China and this.
And see that what he's saying was, that's basically the prophecy of Revelations, how all the people were drunk and mad with this place because they had to submit after they destroyed all the fucking lands and forced everybody to take part in this wicked ass system. You see?
The Russia are starting to build an alternative block of currency.
So the question, John, becomes how viable is their alternative? How many countries, how many transactions, how much market share could, for example, if it becomes the Chinese yuan, take from the US dollar? I've talked to others who said the answer to that question will be a tipping point, and they believe the tipping point would be Saudi Arabia and what they choose to do when it comes to oil transactions. What is your perspective?
Before he did that, the Lord put the spirit on me. I want to pull up a precept about Saudi Arabia. Because that kind of, this is what's happening right now with them. You know, it was prophesied that they wouldn't fuck with this place either. So Isaiah 13 verse 20 reads, "It shall never be inhabited." So after this place gets destroyed by the intercontinental ballistic missiles from all these other nations, which is going to be from Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, who's putting the spirit on them to do it. Revelation 17:17. He's basically, there's nobody ever going to step foot on here again, forever, for eternity. It's just going to be a desert forever. So it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So this place is about to be over with forever, and we glad. Blow this motherfucker up, Lord. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. See, he was real specific. He said the Arabians is not fucking with this place because the Arabians used to come over here and make bread all the time. And now they're like, fuck this place.
Well, the Saudis want to diversify their portfolio, so to speak. They don't know who's going to win the contest for the world. And so they do want to make sure that they have some exposure to China and some exposure to the United States. I don't think in the long run that the yuan is actually a threat, that it is ever going to become the dominant currency of the world, because the Chinese communist system is not open enough. The U.S. system is very open.
Okay, so that's him just guessing or whatever, hoping that they're going to pull out of it. But we know the scriptures. They're finna get murked. So this says the U.S. dollar is about to stare into the abyss. They usually not do articles like this. They said it's finna stare into the abyss. I want to look up that word. And let's look up that word real quick. And let's see what abyss means. That's what they said the dollar is about to be like. And that dude was talking about we're real open. We're good. You see? But they're not telling the truth. So
Abyss
says a deep or seemingly bottomless chasm, a wide or profound difference of people, a gulf. That's not what I'm looking for, but this right here. A deep, seemingly bottomless chasm. It's never gonna come back. It's over with. Okay. Void. Okay. Hole. You know, cavity. It's ruined. Okay. We're not getting. It's not coming back. And it says it's staring to the abyss. Will likely keep dropping after a losing month. Analysts said. So this guy's talking about we can bounce back, but the analysts are telling you, no, this bitch is going to drop. See, it says the dollar index has declined 2.57 in March. Okay, so 1 month, this bitch done dropped down there 3%, and that's a big deal, you know, for people who know what money is, you know. And it says, okay, and it's been falling. So it says the US dollar index has seen 4 losing weeks out of the last 5. And the greenback could face more declines in the months ahead. In March, the US dollar shed 2.57 against a group of other major currencies and erased most of its gains made in February. So they made some bread. They done already lost that shit. Since October, the U.S. dollar index has fallen 8.8%. Why? Because the tornadoes jacking everything up. It's floods all everywhere. They're having to do cleanups all the fuck over the place. And they're giving $100 quadrillion to fucking Ukraine. Okay? This place is finna get fucked. Okay, so it says, although it cannot be ruled out that the quarterly portfolio shakeout will create attraction in the dollar, it is still more likely for the U.S. currency will fall further in the coming quarters. You know, these is analysts, man. They're telling you, and you know, it says that they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. This is them ultimately crashing it because they want to issue in the C-HIP. You know, they want to make a man-made crash, just like they did in the Great Depression. You know, but this time they're gonna act like everything's crashing. They can't do nothing about it. And they're gonna say you got to take this chip, you got to take the Karagma if you want to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get out of being in poverty and come back to being everything normal. So after that, I want to put in some precepts that's going to kind of sum up those 4 articles. So Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. You know, they're talking about this on the news. It's literally scripture jumping off the page in the news. And Jake still don't believe. 2/3 still don't believe. And you got some people that's even, you know, part of the elect, you know, that still have not woken up out of their slumber. You know, they probably in other camps. Maybe some of them is just not even heard of the truth, but it's all because of the Lord. You know, he's got them asleep for whatever reason. It's up to him. So it says, no man can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. That's why we say, blow this motherfucker up, Lord. And everybody's like, why would you want this place to get blown up? Because it's going to ultimately save Israel. It's going to ultimately save the people who actually hate this fucking place. We don't like it here. We want to leave. And the only way we're getting out of here is Lord beaming us up in the chariot. Lord, when we part of that number, that's the only way we're getting out of here. Any other way, we were going to die here. Okay? We're not getting out of here any other way but Yahawashi. But he saved us out of Egypt last time. He got a whole book proving he saved us last time. So we got a pretty good shot of getting the fuck out of here if we just do what he says do. So it says, or else he will hold to the one, 2/3 holding to the damn system, even though it's crashing, and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahawah and Mammon. And when you look up that word mammon, it basically just means, you know, like physical, material things. But we're gonna look it up, you know, just you know, for edification.
Strong's G 3126. Mamonas. Mamonas.
Mamonas. See, treasure, riches. Whereas personifies as opposed to Yahawah. See, they worship riches. That's why you got all these celebrities out here that's like, I'm rich as hell. You know, you had Elder Manazabak did a video yesterday talking about what's his name? Soldier Boy's crusty ass talking about he got all this bread and everybody gonna die broke. Well, you gonna die rich, okay? You gonna die a grievous death because you're a fucking retard because the Lord wants you to be like that. So whatever, you know. Somebody told me I wanted to go have dinner with him with $250 food stamps. I would have said, don't ask me stupid questions. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. Well, you can't got no, there ain't no defense, you ain't got no money if it ain't here. But the excellency of knowledge is, see? So money ain't shit if you ain't got no damn knowledge. That wisdom giveth life to them that have it. See? So just because you have money doesn't mean that you're excellent in surviving what's coming. You're just a defense to basically like keep you, you know, reserve you to be judged for not listening to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. He's just like, yeah, give him a little bit more bread because he said he rewards the fool and the transgressor. Who's the fool? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And then who's the transgressors? 2/3 of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to stop transgressing. They want to keep eating pork. They want to keep voting. They want to keep going to the club. They want to keep smoking weed. They don't want to stop doing what they doing. They just think that shit's okay, man. Lord's about to fucking fuck niggas up. And then when Esau Edom, you see him over there grilling Jake, eating one of us, or so eating 1 or 2/3. You know what I'm saying? Because 2/3 is still us. You know, we're not going to be happy to see them dying. That's why we've been working diligently, you know what I'm saying, to try to warn them. But we know they're not going to wake up because ultimately they're the ones who murdered Yahawashi. You know, they said, let his blood be on our hands. So they have to pay for this shit. But all of us who are called here to wake the fuck up and stop playing, you know, you didn't do it, Lord willing, you know, at that time. You know, that's basically what's happening. So Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19, a feast is made for laughter, a wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things, right? Says it answereth all things. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean where it answers all things? Well, let's read this. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. It answers all things. It sure does. It answers this. It says, for the love of money. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, the Akim always say all roads lead to the Karagma. Every single one of them. We all going to be tried with that C hit and see who really is about Bahasham Yahawashi. So it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. How'd they pierce themselves? With the Karagma, man. With the MARK, the grain of rice that people already scanning in to get into their doors. They scanning in to get into, you know what I'm saying, their drawers and stuff. Like I got a video. There's this girl, she was like scanning to her drawer just to get like an Xbox controller out of her shit. Like you did that to get your ass blown up. And not let alone that, it says that they're going to get tortured for 5 months. Okay? By all types of shit. There's not going to be no food. Esau Edom going to be grilling everybody up. Everybody out here going to turn in. Everybody out here who didn't believe me. How about Shem outside? You're going to turn to a fucking dodo bird. He going to fry your ass. Because them motherfuckers is wicked, man. They're not playing. So Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, what's that? Through the slavery of Israel, by them enslaving Jacob, making us do all this shit. That's how they got rich. Hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahawah. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee. Who's that? Rich nations we was talking about. The terrible of the nations. They shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Okay, but first they're gonna crash the money system and take all the farmland, and then they're gonna get all the resources and turn the intercontinental ballistic missiles. They gonna come in here and twerk that ass. That's what they're gonna do. People still sitting here acting like America can't get destroyed. Like I've literally heard people say that out here. I'm like, you fucking duck. Matthew chapter 9, verse 24. He said unto them, give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's start the right one. That's not the right one. Slakia. Hold on. Hold on. No, that's not the one. Hold on. Slakia. That's talking about something else. Let me pull this up. Bear with me. I think I might have put that. Meant to put that on another lesson I had that I haven't even done yet. And I left. Some lessons I don't do until later, until the Lord put the Spirit on me to do them later. But we're going to do this. And then we're going to go look up a couple articles. And then we're going to tie in some more scriptures and close out. So Job chapter 36, verse 12 says, but if they obey not, let's read back one. Let's go back one more. So let's do this. He openeth also their ear to discipline. Who's that? It's the elect. You know, Lord willing, we part of that number. You know, we're disciplined men. Like we're not, and you know, and also the aquath, you know, which are the women and the children. They're going to be disciplined too. They're going to know that they need to do what the man says because we're getting it from Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. We're all in order. You know, this is supposed to be a system. He's not going to say go. And Jacob Trouble go down to that system is completely buffered, okay, and perfected. So it says he openeth their ear also to discipline and commandeth that they return from inequity, which is sin upon sin. And Jake don't want to do that. He still want to smoke a blunt just so he can get his ass messed up. So verse 11, if they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasures. I know it looks like that because it's in 1611 version. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge, man. And you're going to go to the throne of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And like I said earlier, it could just be like, yeah, you fucked up. You're going to have to go to sleep for 1,000 years. You're going to wake up, and then you're going to be in the kingdom as one of the kids. Or he's going to be like, you pissed me off. I'm going to send you back there, and you're going to have to face the intercontinental ballistic missiles, and then your ass going to wake up in 1,000 years. That could be your judgment, man. And for you to be in the truth and know that, shit, you better seek the Lord 10 times more before you fuck your ass up, because he's not playing. So then we got just now Twin Cities. Minnesota is, you know, powerful blizzard buried everything. You know, but first let me see real quick. I want to put in a few precepts real quick before we start there. You know, this is, you know, simple scriptures, you know, but I like pulling them up, you know, because that's the simplicity of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It's so simple that people just, they overlook it, man. But it says, let's read back one verse. It says, then Yahawashi to those Jews which believed on him, who's that? The elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. If you continue in my words, you got to continue. It's a marathon. Then are ye my disciples indeed? He said indeed. And that's Yahawashi speaking. So if you continue, keep doing that, oh yeah, we know we know you're with us. Then it says in this, and ye shall know the truth. What's the truth? This doctrine of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and the truth shall make you free. Free from what? being, you know, in captive of the so-called white man's philosophies and doctrines. We're free. You know, we're not free physically, but spiritually, we're free from this place. We don't go here, you know, living our life without a God. Ecclesiasticus 20, verse 32. We're not here without a God. We have a God. So we're at peace when we go around in this place, you know. And when that time comes, he's gonna put the spirit on us to be even in more peace, you know, whenever that time comes. Because we were focusing our eyes on him. You know how the churches always say that. They always be like, keep your eyes focused on Bahasham, Yahawashi. Well, they say Jesus Christ, of course. But basically, the real church, the church of Mashiach, the body, we tell you, keep focusing on Bahasham, Yahawashi. You know? Keep focusing. Which is watching these times and keeping yourself occupied around the brotherhood. Because those are the ones that the Lord is dealing with. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 39 reads, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition. And when you look at the word perdition, it means to get put to death, sentenced to put to death. But of them that believe to the saving of the soul. See, we believe that he's going to come save us. You know, we're not playing around with that. We really believe. And some of us will have to die for this faith. But those men, you know, they're going to basically receive their own universe, okay? And those men have very strong faith, you know, very, very strong faith, you know. And, you know, if I'm of that number, so be it. If I'm not, so be it. You know, I want to be where Yahawashi wants me to be. I don't want to be anything else because what he wants me to be is exactly what he wanted me to be. And that's better than me wanting to be anything else. So Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 says, lay up not yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust do corrupt, this dollar, and where thieves break through and steal, because there will be a lot of thieves coming in and stealing all this stuff, you know. They'll come in and you think you done stored up enough to be ready for whatever time you come, or the people with the charagma like, yeah, we good. We got the charagma. We got all our resources. Man, it ain't gonna save you from somebody busting off in your house and hitting you in the head with something and taking your shit. You know, so Matthew chapter 6, verse 20 says, but lay up yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through or steal. They can't steal this doctrine. You can't steal this word. Even if you kill us, you can't steal this word. For where your treasure is, there will your heart, when you look it up, it means love, which means your mind and the will of man be also. See what I'm saying? That's where you got to be. That's where your mind needs to be focused on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi all fucking day. Okay? You can't go wrong. So let's watch this. See what's going on in Minnesota. They getting, what was that? Oh, I thought that was.
Snow hit the Twin Cities area and much of Minnesota.
You know, I don't like it when they be talking. You see, they shit getting fucked up. Okay, and it's bad like that everywhere. Every day, every video I do, I got at least a couple of these, and it's always a different place getting jacked up. So, you know, places getting blizzard on. The Lord's just steady visiting and sending all his sword plagues and everything. And the one, there's one that says, you know, we can stop right there for a second. What we gonna do? Precept, and then there's a couple more of them. I know this is in Job. I think it's 37. Yeah, Job chapter 37, verse 6. It's been a while since I pulled up to this precept. All right. So it says, for he saith to the snow, be thou on the earth likewise, the small rain until the great reign of his strength. He sealeth at the hand of every man, that all man may know his work. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places because the weather's so bad, and he's gonna jack everything up. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and out of the cold out of the north. And that's what's been happening. This place been getting jacked up, and not let alone while it's snowing over there, it's tornadoes hitting everywhere else because all the weather's fucked up. It's Esau Edom's fucking everything up, but the Lord's ordaining them to do it, And you got some of the elect out there, but I bet you this, they're safe and they're good, whomever they may be, they're good out there, They might be going through a little something. Maybe they might have a power outage or something, but they safe. They don't got nothing really fucking with them. So we're going to go right here to the next one. Turkey is steady getting hit. Turkey steady getting hit. Look at that. It's straight snow. Turkey getting hit with earthquake, hailstorms, snow, all types of shit. Look like he trying to dig out something that's way the fuck in there. And you got to remember that earthquake, there's a lot of people homeless out there right now, and they're literally like living outside in that. They're living outside in that. It says was the worst in 100 years. So in a whole century after they just got hit with the worst earthquake they ever had, now they getting snowed on. And Jake don't think this is the Lord, man. Jake don't think this is the Lord. It says been falling continuously for a whole day. 50 centimeters of snow. Can't nothing move, no flights, nothing. Said don't drive unless it's emergency. Yeah, like what? Go get food to eat and survive. You see what I'm saying? They can't even move the water. It said that it was hard to even do that shit. That these people out here trying to do news and shit. That's what I'm saying. People crazy, man. People crazy. But it's out there going out right there like that. And then right here, this is the other train derailment that happened. At least 25 cars of a freight train derailed in western Montana. Right off into some water, like it is every time. Every time it's right off into some water. We're going to read a little bit. See? Oh, wait, they said don't got no hazardous material on board. But at this point, how you going to believe them? Like for this to happen like every week on every other week, week on week, all they got to do is be like, there wasn't no hazardous material in there. How we know? We're not over there. We don't know what's on that train. It could be anything on that train. But every time we see one of these derailments, it be in fucking water damn near most of the time. But it says, they said the one that happened in where was it at? The first one that really fucked up Ohio. They was talking about how it wasn't dangerous. You gotta find out. Esau Edom, these motherfuckers are lying. Says a freight train derailed in Paradise, Montana on Sunday, according to the Sanders County Sheriff's Office. Approximately Salakia. 25 cars were derailed around 9:20 a.m. near Highway 135. Dispatcher Bill Brown told CNN the train derailed on the banks of the Clark Fork River, 200 miles northwest of Bozeman. Images, they said the sheriff's office did not provide information on what the train was hauling. See, they don't be saying shit. They said, however, Brown said that there did not appear to be any hazardous materials, but they ain't reporting it. It's some shit on there, man. It's some shit on there. And that's why they're making it less, Oh, yeah, they said they found a little boy dead in the alligator's mouth, too. They was talking, a couple other Akim was talking about that, too, I think. I think I just seen the article earlier, but I didn't pull it up. You know, just more judgment of the Lord. Jake don't want to repent, so they getting fucked off. He said in Ezekiel 9:24, he said that he killing men, women, children, everybody. Don't call on Yahawashi, Yahawashi. No respects of persons. But as we see, this will not be the last train derailment. So now we got right here Walmart to close 15 stores in April. So while the dollar's crashing to the fucking ground, they're closing their shit down, getting ready to issue in their little plan, their little pandemic. These things are going to turn into concentration camps. Straight up. This is what's going to happen to these. And the ones that it says the mass closures, they're going to do mass closures, include Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, New Mexico, Oregon, Texas, Washington, D.C., and Wisconsin. Man. So all those people there are going to have to find another way to get their food. All the people who are old and stuff going to have to go somewhere else to get their pharmacy shit if they normally go there. You know what I'm saying? And then, what happens when they start saying all the Targets are closing down and all the other places that got pharmacies closed down. Then what? People going to start bugging the fuck out because they're used to getting their meds from Esau Edom and psychologically fucking their brain up this whole time. And they haven't been relying on Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. And they're going to start doing weird shit and start eating people and shit because they didn't want to take heed. And they want to be comfortable, smoke weed or whatever. And I'm telling you, they get bugged out. Now, another thing, because when you see these places closed down, this is showing you the infrastructure is fucking up. So, final day, major U.S. mall closes after 43 years of business as upper floors have turned into a ghost town. So, see, they closing this place down too after 40 years. Next victim of the retail apocalypse. See, they using the word apocalypse. They used to not do this stuff. But I just got one more precept and I'm gonna close out. So 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and a trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's how Jake gonna be. He's gonna be suddenly afraid. But everybody who has been paying attention, we're gonna know it's coming. It's just like if you watching a basketball game that's already been recorded, you like, watch this. They might be down 20 points, but watch this. They're gonna come back and win. Like, you ain't gonna be worried. And ultimately this is Yahawah's game. We know he's gonna win in the end. So we're not gonna be worried like the rest of these people be freaking out and shit. We're gonna just prepare for temptation. We're gonna call on Yahawashi, and Lord willing, He give us some spiritual powers so I can beam somebody ass with my fucking hand or some shit, or fly us the fuck out of there or something, Lord willing, like wherever I'm at, who I'm around, And that's why, we got to stay away from these 2/3 and we got to get around all the people who believe me. Yahawashi, we need to just stick together. Everybody else, we just got to lead their ass out here. They ain't want to listen, man. But that's all I got. The Lord put the spirit on me. Try to make it about an hour. So the water for tuning in. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Yahawah, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who led me to this truth. And have been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the elect. And whoever they are scattered across the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, us be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and to strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the hopeful elect. And, his judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So, shalom, the water for tuning in. As always, Lord willing, we can come back and exalt the name of Bahasham, Yahawashi another day and grow stronger in this faith. So shalom, and till next time.